Good afternoon and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. We are back. 2022 is here, and this is going to be the first review of the year. It is something that I promised to show you like last year, but MSI intercepted me with their Z690 torpedo. So yeah, we did that instead. So we're here, and I've had this 32 kilogram chair in my house for quite a while. That was about the worst of it, was actually moving it with its box inside of the house. That was the worst part of the experience, to be honest. The rest of it has been pretty damn fantastic. Noble, I thought, was somewhat overrated initially, and then I got to sit on some of the first samples and stuff that were at Evetech, and I was like, okay, where quality is concerned, they really are becoming like that Mercedes-Benz S-Class experience, where they're just trying to take it to the next level, and this is no exception. This Doom Eternal chair is probably one of the best custom pieces of like PC part related stuff that I've ever seen. I rate this right up there with the ROG Gundam kind of like level of detail. So what has Noble done? In a nutshell, they've taken the Hero chair, which I'm sure some of you might be familiar with. I'll run through some of its features for you so that you then are familiar with the Hero design. And then they've put some embroidery and some really nice attention to detail into the chair itself. So let's start off from the bottom. 5-star for the wheel setup is pretty good, pretty damn stable. I had no issues really there. Nicely done wheels as well. They are just push in and pull out as well. So if you, for instance, were to put it into the ROG frame or something like that, then you'll be able to do that quite easily. Base platform is really, really nice. I have to say the memory foam is like extremely thick. You can't really see it on video there as I'm grabbing it, but I'll show you in a close-up there of how like thick this bottom piece is, and it is very, very firm. Big plus for this is there's no added wings on the side. The racing car chair vibe is pretty cool, but it's actually not great for ergonomics because then it crunches you into that space. So with this you can move outwards, and that's pretty much the bullet points of the presentation. Is this was built for a rather broad gentleman that might sit here. I'm not exactly a small human. I'm not in the midget or the hobbit areas, and yeah, it's still, I mean, I'm like disappearing in this thing, and these can still go further out. Sorry, wrong button, there we go. These can still go further out, and then on the bottom you can still take them even further out from that. I set them at the narrowest width because I was like, nobody's going to be that broad that is going to come and sit in the chair, that I know at least, that would have come and sit in the chair, so we put it inward like that. But you can, if you are a broad dude, I mean, imagine you probably going to be able to get another 5 centimeters or so by adjusting the side frames, and because there's no wings, you can spill out over the edges of the chair somewhat. Speaking of the armrests, they are 4D adjustable, so you've got back and forward, you've got tilt in and outward, you've got height adjustment for up and down pretty far as well, and then you've got, obviously, like I said, that 4D in and out like that as well. So personally, I like it like that, especially if I'm just sitting, because, well, look at it, it's like absolutely perfect for that kind of setup. Now we get to like one of the cooler parting pieces in this, because you might notice there's no extra cushions or anything with this, or any supposed lumbar support. It's actually because it's on a dial. On the right hand side over here, there is this little dial, and this dial actually extends this back piece over here inward and outward. So you'll see by the visuals on your screen, I've had it at the like least, basically I turned it all the way down to like the bare minimum, which is over there, where it's basically completely flat, but then you can wind it up. A few moments later, and I mean, the difference it makes is considerable. Like the bottom of my back now actually isn't anywhere near the chair. I'm kind of over presenting like a weird rooster. There is no head cushion with it, although I don't think it really needs one, to be honest. It does feel quite nice, especially when you rock back. Everybody agreed that this is the best position for this chair, and it's just disgustingly comfortable. But now we get to the Doom Eternal flavors of the chair, which are like really finely detailed. They've taken the rune from the Doomslayer environment or from the Sentinel's planet, and they've put that as like the main feature stay in the middle of the chair over here. And then on the back, they've done more of that sort of rune work. And the nicest touch is just there at the bottom of it, where it says rip and tear. And that's like the basis for all of the Doom games, rip and tear until it is done. That's basically the premise of it. So like they've taken really the ethos of the game and really imparted that onto the chair, made it on one of their most comfortable setups that they do produce, and like at extremely high quality. All the embroidery and stuff is like really sick. Every single person that knows Doom that saw this chair, their jaw kind of hit the floor. And I really like Noble's own branding as well. It's subtle, it's additive, it's not like overwrought and over the top, just nicely along the side here, so you know that it is a Noble chair. That's how you do it. Like, you don't need to, you know, go over tilt. The Doom portion is the attraction, and then you're just making sure, you know, people know who put it together. Now, there is always that argument of the ergo chair versus this, and in most cases, I would agree with you, except for the updates that they've done here. The default gaming chair is like a racing chair with a gas cylinder attached to it. And the inherent issue with that is, like I said, those wings and stuff they put on the side, those are actually for keeping you in the seat while you're going around corners at speed. You're not doing that in a gaming chair. You're sitting on a flat surface, you know, or you're sitting in an environment that doesn't have any G-forces acting on you. So what's the point of having that? It's actually superfluous and kind of counterproductive. So Noble's basically done away with that, opened it up so that it does cup you a little bit, but not over the top. The back portion is like really broad and doesn't have any of that. And especially, like I say, on the base piece, you can have your legs outside of the frame if you would want to, without that getting in the way. So this is way more ergo than a lot of the gaming chairs, and having the adjustable lumbar support over here, it's just like a really nice touch and gives you that level of personalization. It can do all the normal things as well. I mean, like going completely flat over here. Almost bailed, but we made it. Now we're in the JDM CS position. I mean, it does all the normal things. You can lock it in position over here so it won't rock back and stuff like that on you. So you've got all the default options, you know, normal gas cylinder. One of the highest, I have to say, actually, that I've ever seen. This one, actually, when I go all the way to the top, my feet dangle. They don't even actually touch the floor, which is like a first. And I'm all legs. If you didn't know, I'm the worst ratio probably human being of like this weirdly short body and just legs. So for them to swing, if you are like 190, 195, probably swinging as well. And before I forget, one of the nicest little touches I've ever seen is the instruction manual. It tells you, please read the instruction manual and get yourself a friend, which is exactly what I did, because this is like 5 kilos heavier than any other chair I've run into. Packaging was fantastic. Nice little box with all the spares and everything in it. And then right at the end of the manual as well, they tell you basically, don't kill your friend in a chair. What more could you ask for from Noble? Anywho, that is all I have for you on the Hero Series Doom Edition Noble chair. Absolutely fantastic work from them. The attention to detail and stuff is exactly what you want to see from a custom product. I've got to give it a solid like 9 out of 10. I do think it is premium. I do think the price is a little high, but that's what you're going to pay for quality at the end of the day. Thank you all so much for watching. I do wish the best for you for 2022. I hope it's a stellar year and a lot better than the last, as we kind of resume some normality in life. And I will see you on the flip side. Pop goes the Wiesel.